Now that we finished one, let me go ahead and jump ahead to problem number 4. In problem 4, we're given a little bit more info to work with as compared to the first problem. This time 2 premises, and the conclusion not H or not L, tilde H, wedge, tilde L. So just taking a look at the conclusion we're asked to derive, let's first think about, do we want CP or IP? Again, our general rule, if the conclusion has a horseshoe in it, probably going to be CP. If it doesn't, probably going to be IP. So given that the operator here is a wedge, given that there isn't any horseshoe at all, it seems to be a fairly straightforward case of indirect proof. Now fair enough, the conclusion we're asked to derive is slightly more complex than in the previous problem, problem 1, but there's no need to deviate from our general rule. Our general rule is, in taking under assumption, we indent and assume the negation of what we're after. We're after not H or not L, so the negation of that, to get the negation of that, just put a tilde on the outside of parentheses containing the entire conclusion. Not H or not L. So no need to complicate matters, no need to make this out to be more difficult than it is. Just take the negation of the entire thing by putting the conclusion in parentheses and placing a tilde on the outside. So that'll be our assumption, AIP assumption, indirect proof. Now the question, obviously, what can we do with line 3? Well, line 3, a fairly clear-cut case of De Morgan's, distribute and flip, or for that matter, you could go the reverse direction, suck out and flip. In fact, I'll go that direction. Seems to be a bit easier here. So 3 De Morgan's, whichever direction, right to left, left to right, doesn't make a lick of difference here. I'll suck out and flip. There's already one tilde on the outside of the parentheses. We'll now have 2, and that'll get us not H and L, flip the operator. So that's 3 De Morgan's. Here, obviously, now we can do a double negation, getting rid of these 2 tildes, and we get down to H and L for double negation. What can we now do with 5? Well, we can do a couple of things. Simplify 5 sim, and then combining 2 steps in a single line, we can do 5 com, switching the order of the conjuncts, and then simplifying to get the L, and then 6 and 7, each of those set up an MP. We can do 1 and 6 modus ponens. We can also do, 2 and 7 modus ponens for lines 8 and 9 respectively. And that'll get us L horseshoe K, as well as K horseshoe not L. So we haven't yet arrived at a contradiction, which means that we need to plug away at this thing. So we've gotten down to 8 and 9. What can we do there? Well, a rather obvious move, we can do hypothetical syllogism. So let's see where that gets us. 8, 9, HS. There's the common variable, the K is the antecedent here, consequent there. We get L horseshoe not L. And this is a fairly common pattern when conducting indirect proof. Many times you'll arrive at something that looks like this. Anytime you see something of this pattern, you can almost immediately get a contradiction out of it. So this is the common sequence. We've gotten down to L horseshoe not L. If I do impl to line number 10, I'll have myself a contradiction, or the makings of a contradiction. Line number 10 impl, 10 impl. Switch that horseshoe to a wedge, horseshoe to wedge, negate the first variable. I get down to not L or not L. Of course, that's redundant. That's a tautology. So 11 taut, and I get the not L. Now I've got the makings of a contradiction. In 7, way back when, I've got L, and in line number 12 now, I have its negation. So I'm going to extend this argument here. I now need to go on to sheet number 2. As you can tell, these problems are getting rather lengthy. So on to line number 12. I'm ready to make my contradiction by jamming together 7 and 12. 7 and 12 conjunction. 7, 12 conjunction, and I get L and not L. There's my contradiction. You'll notice my contradiction in this case has nothing to do with the conclusion way up there that I'm asked to derive. L and L has nothing to do really with not H or not L. Makes no difference. I am ready to discharge. I've gotten what I'm after. I've gotten that contradiction. So unindent. And when you discharge indirect proofs, you get the negation of what you were after, the opposite of what you were after, your original assumption. So what I get out is exactly what I'm after, not H or not L. In the justification, all of those lines, if you can still see up here, line number 3, all of those lines In this case, 3 through 13, 3 through 13, I peak. So this was a fairly lengthy problem, but again, not surprisingly, this will become the norm. And in fact, don't be surprised if by the time we finish up here in 7-6, the problems are into the 20s in terms of number of lines long.